What's more fun than taking in a baseball game, no matter how good or bad the baseball is? Watching a ball game from an amazing stadium, taking in the sights, and making memories to last a lifetime.
In your report. Take your report and shove it up your
Also, not having to rub elbows while you pee in a trough or have to wait 2 hours in line for cheese fries. Why yes, a good stadium makes the baseball even better. And today we're gonna look at the absolutely best minor league baseball stadiums, and that's coming up right after this. So I've taught you about manscaping and how cutting down the bushes makes the tree look bigger and the confidence that brings. And for those of you who put on your business socks and get down to business, if you want that call back, you better take care of your feet after your business is done. That's where Manscaped's new product, the Foot Duster, comes in. It's a spray that has active pH control to keep your feet smelling nice and gives you 24-hour stinky feet protection. There's nothing more horrific than waking up for round 2 and ending up full-handed because your feet smell like a hot dumpster fire. The Foot Duster was featured in Fast Company and is endorsed by pro skateboarder Windsor James, who has much nicer feet than me. So after this video, head on over to the link below, enter in my code POINT20 and get 20% off your first order. I'm telling you, the Foot Duster will keep your feet smelling nice. Again, go to the link below and enter in my code POINT20 and get 20% off. Manscaped, refining the gentleman. Real quick, before we get started, the criteria used here is aesthetics, uniqueness in both design and features, amenities, and suggestions from my last video. There were so many I couldn't name you all individually, but I know that there will likely be a part 2, so let's go. Nashville showed up on the worst stadium list when they let their old stadium Greer slowly turn into a ruin, but the Phoenix is reborn with this gorgeous ballpark right in downtown. First, Tennessee brought over the old giant guitar scoreboard and fully modernized it with a jumbotron and open seating areas underneath it. Out in right field is an area called the Bandbox, which has a large concession stand, bar that serves local craft beers, and if you're bored with baseball and just want to work on your putts, a miniature, musically themed 9-hole golf course.
You're gonna die, clown! You think that's funny?
I also love the interesting outfield dimensions. There's plenty of parking, and First Tennessee broke an attendance record earlier this year, packing in 11,824 fans. Don't let the brown playing surface in these images fool you. It looks like they were having it replaced, but Dr. Pepper Ballpark in Frisco, Texas is where condo living and baseball come together. 9 interconnected pavilions, which house concessions, luxury boxes, and restrooms, etc., surround the ballpark to give it that park within a park feel. The structures feature covered porches and balconies. The cherry on top is beyond the right field fence, which houses the Choctaw Lazy River and allows patrons to drink beer until they are in a drunken stupor and pass out and float around for hours until they wake up sunburnt, possibly with the word dork drawn on their chest with sunblock.
Hey, dork. Hey, dork.
Or, you know, kids could play in it or something. I found this one when I was scouting nearby Dreamstyle Stadium as one of the worst college football venues, but the Isotopes home park of the same name is absolutely stunning. The center field area is similar to that of the former Talls Hill at Minute Maid Park. I wonder if they just trucked in all the dirt from Houston like they did with the old London Bridge. That's in Arizona, by the way. Anyways, Isotope Park, which is a hilarious name, has ample lawn seating and a kid's playground because most 2-year-olds don't want to hear you prattle on about B-War and OPS. The park's elevation is 5,100 feet above sea level, so I'm sure you get to see some moon shots. Maybe you'll spot an alien when you look up in that direction. Foolish Baseball tweeted me this picture and asked me to rate this ballpark, or was it his intern Tristan? I don't know. And at first, I thought modern Woodmen was going to be a brine-filled dump. Well, when it's not flooded by the adjacent Mississippi River, it's actually a gorgeous park. You can see the obvious Ferris wheel in left field, and the Centennial Bridge is over on the right. Additional pavilions and amenities round out the nice park where the Quad City Bandits play. Hey, is that a rap group? And I'm sure it's a great place to watch a game when the weather is nice. Memphis is known for a few things: great music, dry rub barbecue, Beale Street, and a ballpark downtown that helped revitalize the city. AutoZone Park was opened in 2000 and helped along the trend of putting minor league stadiums in the heart of smaller cities, instead of the common practice of tucking them far away off a highway exit. The stadium was a trendsetter in adding major league type amenities but keeping its minor league character. Though it's nearly 20 years old, AutoZone is still a diamond in the rough, and if you're in Memphis, hit up Rendezvous before the game. It's worth it. In honor of each of these parks' odd and similar nomenclature, we're going to do all three of them at once. Fifth Third Field in Toledo is home of the AAA Mud Hens. A nice ballpark in downtown, it has unique seating areas and quirky outfield dimensions. Not far away is a stadium of the exact same name located in Dayton. With a huge scoreboard and variable outfield distances, it looks like downtown Dayton wasn't gonna let Toledo have anything over on them. Ballpark downtown? That sounds more like a Shelbyville idea if you ask me.
Oh, it's not for you. It's more of a Shelbyville idea.
Now, wait just a minute.
And finally, Fifth Third Ballpark also followed the winning formula as the other two parks: find a river, call an architect, and build a nice looking field. I covered this park in a recent video when in 2006 the Whitecaps dropped cash onto the field from a helicopter and a couple kids got trampled. Sounds fun. What happens when you have a bunch of bricks? And I'm not talking about Russ Westbrook in the playoffs. Heyo, and you want to build a ballpark. You build a ballpark out of bricks, 480,000 of them. And in downtown Oklahoma is a beautiful stadium appropriately named Bricktown Park. Outside, there are multiple statues to Hall of Fame Oklahomians Mickey Mantle, Johnny Bench, and Warren Spahn. Across the street from the stadium is the Bricktown Canal, a man-made riverwalk with restaurants, bars, and shops. You can definitely turn a game in OKC into an all-day affair. Remember to stay hydrated, people. Not to be confused with the abandoned Durham Athletic Park, Durham Bulls Athletic Park is a beautiful stadium located amidst the close company of adjacent office buildings and apartments. A lot of this park's features can be traced back to the movie Bull Durham, which was set in the original DAP. In the film, there was a giant sign with a bull on it, which was actually created just for the movie as a prop, but ended up being a permanent fixture and has since been rebuilt twice. This ballpark is loaded with features: a blue monster in left, open seating areas, a playground for the kids, and in 2014 more concessions were added to alleviate the long lines which had plagued the fans. DBAP is a great ballpark if that's what you believe in.
I believe there ought to be a constitutional amendment outlawing AstroTurf and the designated hitter.
What's not to love about this park that is in Coney Island? Basically, smack dab inside of an amusement park is MCU, where the Mets Single-A New York Penn League team, the Cyclones, play. Sorry, the park is not sponsored by the Marvel comic universe, which would have been totally sweet. MCU stands for Municipal Credit Union. Out in right field is the Parachute Jump, a 250-foot tall ride that should sell fresh underwear at its base. A couple blocks over is the iconic Coney Island Cyclone, a wooden roller coaster, and just outside the left field fence is the Thunderbolt, a modern coaster that doesn't remove your teeth. I just love the way that they have integrated this park into the surroundings. It looks like an absolute blast. Plus the beach is right there, so after the game you can get sand all over your clothes and stare at the Atlantic Ocean. I don't know if you want to swim in it though. And before we get to the last ballpark, here are a few honorable mentions. From 1988 to 2013, Birmingham, Alabama did not have baseball as the Barons had moved to a nearby suburb, Hoover. But in 2010, a proposal to bring baseball back to downtown was a hit, and in 2013 they knocked it out of the park with the stadium, Regents Field. How many other baseball-related extended metaphors can I use? Down the right field line is a main concourse that was built as an homage to Birmingham's industrial past, replete with an old-school factory-style steel roof. The surrounding areas of the park feature ample walkways, a play area for the kids, a mini diamond. The field has interesting outfield dimensions. There is a Negro League museum a block over, and fans get a view of the Birmingham skyline as they take in a game. Yep, this park is a home run. I did it again. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to check out my sponsor, Manscaped, and enter my code POINT20 for 20% off your first order. Also, leave your suggestions for any that I left out because I'm sure I did. I'm 5 Points Vids, and you made it to the end of this video.